saluto a tutti.
Ciao Juventini, welcome back to the AJC. It is game day. Empoli Juve set to face off right before we hit the international break. I've got Anthony, I've got Lucci. We're going to say what's up real quick to everybody in the chat making their way in here today. Got Nick coming in here. Forza Ferrari. Okay, all right. James Lapp here, my West Coast brother over here. Eastern North America coming in with a lot more energy than over here right
Bless your
now.
hearts.
Tony
Bless your
Trim,
hearts.
ciao James and Nick the Beauty. Don't ciao tutti. Alex coming in here.
Everyone's
Matt,
fired
hello,
up.
hello. All right, Jeremiah in
For
here. We
Empoli.
need 3 points, absolutely, but also need to perform well. Okay, let's go.
Yes,
And
yeah,
Alex P
yeah.
dropping in the Ducci and chip guy. Hey, you know what? I actually enjoyed some great chips last night in Ant's honor. There, they were delicious. Okay,
What
so
are we even talking about here?
there we go. Lucci, how are you doing, brother? We'll kick things off with you. How you doing, man?
Fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Who's hyped for this game day today? Beautiful Sunday. Long weekend out here in Canada and Ontario. Hyped for that. And hopefully we get those 3 points. Much needed 3 points.
There we go. Ant, how you doing, man?
It's also Labor Day for our friends in the US. So let's not forget that. So
Yes.
it's a weekend where all people of all nations relax and enjoy the fruits of their labor throughout the year. Labor Day, we celebrate the laborers, but not us Italians. What do? We get
More labor.
15 bushels of tomatoes. All right. We got the cutters, we got the melters, we got the processors, and then you got to process it again. And what do? Don't forget the basilico in the bottle. Boom, jar it, steam it up, put it back in. God bless all of you who had to do tomato sauce this weekend, who could have been at the like other white people out at the cottage, out on the boat, doing this, doing that. Not us. What do? We work on Labor Day weekend. We work. There's stuff to do. Bless your hearts.
Ant, what's your station in the setup for tomatoes? What's your station?
Buddy, I am all stations. All right. I have
All
to be I'm a
stations?
laborer. Yeah.
Take it
Yeah,
down, buddy. You're not that special.
All stations?
You have to be. I'm there all day. I used to be like as you grow older, right? Like Lucci, you're probably just right now on like you go have breakfast.
Putting the basilico in the jars, probably.
That's
is all I
his
can
job.
handle.
That's right. No, when you're the youngest and the strongest of the group, you gotta lift stuff, you gotta move stuff. You're in all stations. But hey, congratulations to everybody who got the tomato sauce done this weekend. This weekend's for you.
There you go. That is the one thing I always dreaded the tomato, but it's great when you
Yes.
have it and it's
Correct.
top.
Oh, you like
drawer,
eating
but-
it? Oh, you like eating it during the year, don't you?
Okay, relax there,
Take
Math.
it easy. Take it easy, buddy.
Tony's had a lot of Walter Matthau moments this week, so we gotta take it easy. Actually, the
two.
two of us were grumpy old men. Okay,
He is hyped up
Anish,
today.
I've been thinking about you. It's great that you managed to recover your YouTube account, all right? Because we had a call-in show, and it would have been right up your alley. Okay, so the next call-in show we'll probably do midweek, even during international break and whatnot. Look forward to those, Anish, and getting you on here, okay? So glad to hear that. That's some good news today. Now, obviously, we got Empoli Juve. We will get into the match and whatnot and discuss, lineups, everything like that. But first, we're going to tackle some of the news yesterday and beyond just this week, building up into this match. We've got some question marks. We had some poll questions that we hit in regards to the starting lineup and everything. So there's a lot to kind of tackle. Right now, the first thing I just found hilarious, and I don't really understand it at all, but Milan being apparently investigated for this incident on the bus where they're singing the song that is literally played in their stadium, okay, before every single home game. And now all of a sudden it's a big deal because this is a non-issue and it's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't really get it. It's harmless.
Can I start with this one?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
go
would
ahead.
love nothing
So-
more.
The old man
I
is
would-
angry today. Let's
No.
hear it.
No. I haven't finished my first coffee yet. So
That's why.
I don't completely agree that it's harmless. Now, this is where I'm going to go with this one. So, I've been over to Scotland, see the Old Firm match. Like over there, you see when you're in that society, you see, the play between the two sides and right in normal society at the game. But over here, it's like who cares, right? The Scottish people live over here. It's not as intense. So maybe we don't fully appreciate people over there getting upset over it or how much it is offensive. I still think it's sort of harmless, but I don't think we can just brush it off and say that's completely harmless. Like, why else would they investigate? Now, they really should be investigating. Wasn't there a chance against Lukaku at the game anyways? Maybe they should be looking
Yeah,
into that.
that
So
should
I
be
wouldn't say it's
top
completely
priority.
harmless, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't fully appreciate the situation.
I mean, I find it hilarious that their
Mm-hmm.
main chant before every game too also still includes us like in it. Like the whole thing is just hilarious to me. But the Hunchbacks thing, I mean, like, yeah, Golby, go, but like whatever, man, embrace
right up there.
whatever. It's one of the nicknames from the past, so it's not really like it's this big thing with the Hunchbacks. Like that's harmless to me. If they're saying something, chant some with Rubentis or whatnot, the shit that they make up, like it's a lot different, but the Hunchback thing's not really that big a deal to me. I don't know. I think this thing's just a big nothing. Big fucking can of nothing. But Lucci, what do you think? Are you with kind of Ant there?
Who cares?
Yeah, like it's
Fair enough.
I don't
I
know.
got better things to worry about than what Milan's singing about. Like, let's just worry about getting our shit taken care of and winning, and worry about we'll talk on the pitch. That's it.
Fair enough.
Forget it.
All right.
I'm surprised this bothers you, Ant. I never, usually you're
No,
the
no,
one who
no.
doesn't give a shit about
No,
anything.
no. I'm not saying it bothers me. I'm just saying maybe we just don't fully appreciate. Like, why would they investigate? Like, there's something I'm missing. It's like when Buffon got caught on a camera swearing at himself during a game. I don't know if he was playing with the national team or Juventus. I think twice he got hit with it, and someone got hit with it 2 weeks ago and said, "Yeah, I can't remember which goalkeeper it was." And it's like, can you guys just focus? Can the FIGC just focus on something else? Like, what are we doing here?
But there's so
But
many
maybe I'm
other
missing
problems. There's
Exactly.
many other problems to fix.
Yeah.
But
Racist chants
anyway.
against Lukaku again.
There you go.
Yep.
I better not hear, like, it better not be crickets again. Okay, so that's the thing.
Well, it
Better
might
not
be.
be fucking crickets.
FIGC is still on holidays. What are we talking about?
Now,
They're still at the beach. Bunch of
Juventus next gen losing 3-1 to Pescara yesterday, and Houston having a rough go. Rated, I'm pretty sure you got the worst rating.
4.5
out
I
there.
think.
A rough go. Okay, but that's okay. One of the things with these players, and I put it in the daily update video yesterday, was one of the things I found interesting about Kyle George, because I thought maybe, just maybe, if they still wanted to monitor him and keep him close, I thought it was kind of interesting if he could stay at next gen, because you have that ability. And if we would have needed him at some point up front in attack to bring players as you wish between the two sides, between next gen and the first team. So that's going to be something we can look for Yildiz probably and Houston, is them playing matches there, getting cameos with us and getting to train with the first team. I think it's the best of both worlds. But nonetheless, Kyle George had gone and he's out on loan. Yesterday, Barnechea and Sule took part in that game that Frosinone was in, and actually they look good. They had a good round, so I think these could be hopefully good loan spells for these players. But we will have some eyes on Frosinone simply for the fact that we have some property there. Anthony won't, because he's got to man the jars at tomato festivals.
What a
summer long,
complete
whatever.
waste of time to watch Frosinone. What are we even doing?
No,
here?
no,
my
no.
Go ahead.
no,
You
we'll
guys
watch
do
a
it. Fill me
property.
in.
I will watch our Juve property and keep tabs on all Chihuahuas, no matter where they come from. And yesterday, Lazio getting the job done against
Whoopsie.
Napoli. That was a big one for them. And obviously,
was.
some takeaways out there that could affect us when it comes time for us to play those games. But we'll wait for those matchups to come up. But Lucci, did you check out the Juve property? Were you keeping
Of
tabs
course,
on those boys?
you know I got high stocks in those boys.
Let's
Sule
go. What are your
and
thoughts?
Cow.
What are your thoughts on those players?
Sule looked good. I think one big chance created, one chance created a crossbar or post or something like that. He looked dangerous, and I guess maybe different coach, a little more freedom playing up top. He can create some stuff. So, and I don't know why you're worried about more worried about the Milan chance than actual Juve property. It doesn't make sense to me. Just worry about your tomatoes. We'll take care of the rest, buddy.
Listen, just let me know how much we sell these guys for next June. All right, just let me know. That's what I'll be waiting for. Great, you want to know some great talents? I'm not saying they're not, but I don't got time for that. I have no time to watch anybody else, but I think we'll make it. Let them play, get some playing time. Great, ups the sale price. Be excited.
Yeah.
Luca is going to lose it if we sell Sule. Poor Luca. I worry for him.
Luca's a
Anine-
fragile guy.
Anine dropping this big difference between Sporco Juventino, Gobo Juventino. So I could never make it out in the stadium. I thought that's what it was, and I saw translated videos. That's a big difference. And that's not cool. That's not cool. So either way, Data Milan. Now,
Who cares?
keep the stocks. Let's check stocks on the players, boys. Okay, Paul Pogba. Holy Christ, what a shit show that was. What a shit show that was with Paul Pogba. So in the end, this article that had been put out that literally just stated that apparently there was a team that was interested, got a medical through Juve, and something was disclosed that obviously Juve may have known about, which was the lower back / hip type, and not even necessarily an injury, but something that's there that he's going to have to deal with for the rest of his playing days, and not necessarily something that's hindering him at the moment or whatnot. But again, here we go. It's just like
scoliosis.
It's Paul Pogba. It's always Paul Pogba and whatnot. But again, it's just like, why always this guy? What's going on? And Mirko Nicolino, the guy that puts this out, when it comes to like the physical reports and stuff, is probably the only time he's got any credibility because he's been okay. And this might be a thing, but I could tell you there's players playing with shit that's going to bother them or whatnot throughout that, have no remedies or something. It's just something you have to deal with. I can also tell you guys, at the age I'm at, I have things that I can deal with that aren't going to be remedied, that I'm just playing on with. So it is what it is. Like, it's not a big deal. Max Allegri says he's at 70%, and we're looking at maybe a month before getting him in starting minutes. Let's stick to that, okay? So Paul Pogba at 70%, okay? Maybe a month. But here's the thing. Regista has been the talk for quite some time now. Paul Pogba, do you get him in a Regista? Fagioli's been brought up at Regista. Meanwhile, the whole time, you got this kid, Hans Nicolucci Caviglia, who's been in the background, who had a good, strong showing through preseason and whatnot. And now you have Locatelli that fans, the majority of, are getting somewhat restless with. Okay? And now all of a sudden, you've got Max Allegri coming out and saying Locatelli is safe. He's not going anywhere. It's like he's the guy in that spot right now. Fagioli can do it, according to Max Allegri. But he kind of does touch on the fact he would rather use Fagioli as the Mezzala there. So now we have to kind of look at all this, and we should be looking at all this. What do you do when Loca's got to sit out? We talked about a problem with Sandro at the back, who, by the way, going into this one, before we get the official lineup, Max said he doesn't know if he's going to go with Sandro or if he's going to go with Gatti.
That means he's starting.
He doesn't know what he's going to do there at that one. We talked about creating competition at starting positions, and there should be competition there. Should Locatelli be pushed right now? And Pogba's maybe not as fit to do it right now, but should we be looking at Caviglia getting in there, Fagioli getting in there right now, in your opinions?
Lucci.
I'm not. I mean, you would probably want to try it out against teams like Empoli rather than being forced into it against Lazio, Napoli, Milan, something like that. So I could see it that way. But again, we're only 3 games into the season. Why do it now? Let the guys get familiar with each other. Like, let Luca get comfortable. He's had a rough start. And we're not gonna lie about that. But I'm sure he can bounce back. We know what he's capable of. Alex P on this Luca as a CB train, just let it go, man. It's not now. There's no need for that. If I were to pick one to be there to play Luca's spot, I'd probably go with Fagioli, just based on his vision. I think he sees the pitch very well. Pogba needs to play closer to goal for me. He's just got the creativity and the attacking
Closer to their goal.
Sorry, attacking goal. Yes, sorry about that. Yep. Yeah, more like Miretti as well. I wouldn't want to see Miretti or Pogba in that Regista spot. For me, it'd have to be Fagioli or Hans, even though I haven't really seen Hans play in that spot, so I can't say too much on that. So That's just my comments from the peanut gallery.
Well, Hines played good enough for us to sell Rovella, so there's something there.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure he's
My whole
capable.
thing, my whole thing is Max has not played. What are we at now? 103 games, 103 different lineups. If there was
Yeah,
ever
it's
a
crazy.
season to start getting consistency in a lineup, it's this season. Like, okay, I'll go with you with the Sandro Gatti swap. Okay, like
Hmm.
one or two, but what we were hearing yesterday, it is like 4 or 5 changes to the starting lineup.
Which I don't think
Now,
it's
look
going to
at
be. I think we'll see two.
okay, you just think it's going to be the wingers then?
No, not even. I think it'll be one wing back, and I think we're gonna get a change in the middle from last game. Maybe three with a defender.
I think Miretti might get this start.
I think
I
Miretti's
would.
gonna get the start. I think Kostic gonna get the start, and I think
Yeah,
Gatti will get the start.
I agree
And
with
I
that.
think the
Hostage.
rest will be the
Okay.
same.
I
Yeah,
agree.
so I don't. I'm not gonna. Luca had such a good season last year, and I know some people said there's mixed feelings on his season last year. But again, to Lucci's point, third game of the year. What are we? No need to hit the panic button. Keep Luca where he is, and then if
Hmm.
we have to make a change next game, well, we play Lazio next week, right?
After the international break.
Okay, so there you go. Maybe this is a time that you can try things out. But man, just we need to gain some consistency in the lineup and then start switching
Yes,
three at the most, right in and out. Locatelli just should just stay where he is
I
for now.
agree.
In terms of who's gonna replace him, I think honestly, like when he does need to come out and whatnot, and then
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a whole separate discussion if we believe Locatelli needs to be challenged at the position.
Mm.
I would think so, to be honest. And this is
Yeah,
coming from
everybody should be
me,
challenged.
big
Yeah,
fan of
Everybody.
Locatelli. Everybody needs to be challenged. But if I'm gonna pick Fagioli, it's not gonna happen. I don't know. I looking at our play, looking at what Locatelli does successfully and does at a
defensively.
very high level, that's where I get into my issues with the replacements. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, Rabiot is
Mm.
solid on the Mitsala for what he brings kind of in both, but he doesn't necessarily excel at either end. Like even defensively, he can have lapses where he completely drops
Mm-hmm.
coverage or
Hmm.
drops his mark. If we're talking about Pogba, I don't think he has it defensively
Yeah.
to really to do that. However, he did it at France, but that's a way different caliber level players that were around him at that time that helped make it work. If we're talking about a guy right now that could probably do it, I honestly think Caviglia could. I think he could do it. I think he's got enough in the legs and whatnot, and yeah, he's actually a good size, like physical and whatnot. Fagioli, I don't think so. I'm not seeing it. Rabiot, I wouldn't. Maybe in a pinch, Rabiot, but I don't really know. I think right now we get to the next question, which has been brought up so much, and fans are saying Locatelli is a problem. Is Locatelli a problem for Juventus?
And like why?
Yeah.
Is he a
Yeah.
problem right now?
What?
Is he not bringing enough out
No,
of that position?
No.
no. Why? If he's a
Well,
problem, what's Sandro's three times the size problem? So like we have other things to worry about at this moment than blame Loca for everything. Like, give me a break.
is he hindering us offensively?
No.
Not really.
Is he
Is he
hindering us
hindering us
defensively?
defense? No, he. I don't know. I think didn't he have the most blocked shots last year? Yeah, 11. So you
Hey,
know,
I'm just bringing up what I'm hearing out there and what's being fired up at daily videos and everything and through the Mercado. And Lot wanted actually Locatelli dealt and said, "Get rid of this guy. He's not worth the money we brought him in for. He was overhyped, and he's just not good enough."
I mean, but like I think fans need to align their expectations accordingly. He's not going to be the guy who's putting in 5 to 10 goals for you. He's not that type of player. Yes, he'll
and
score the odd
15
one.
assists.
Yeah, yeah. Like he's not the Pogba offensive caliber type of player. He's there to. Honestly, we've seen him best in a 2-man pivot, so maybe that would make a
Dell's just
difference.
said that.
Oh, thanks, Dels. And like he's there to Max wants him to sit in front of the defense and link up play. So like what do you guys expect for him to do? Run the whole length of the
That's right.
field, cut through 8 fucking damn players, sorry, and score? Like, that's not his style.
I'll
That's not,
hit you
No,
guys
you
with
know.
this. So, Locatelli, while he was highly touted and whatnot for his time at Sassuolo, okay, he's pretty much got around the same amount of games with us as he did at Sassuolo. And Sassuolo was playing a very offensive style. Very offensive.
They stunk.
They were getting a lot of praise for their style offensively, the style of play, and everybody was hyping up guys on that team. Locatelli was one of them. His contributions between goals and assists is not that far ahead of where he's at with Juventus. I think he had 4 more goals. I think he had like 5 more assists. And that's where he was highly touted on a team that scored a bunch of goals and played very offensively. And he was playing in a natural role, which is a 2-man pivot for him. That's his natural role. So if the expectations are, what he's going to bring offensively, and this is why I just never buy into this Mezzala thing with Locatelli and whatnot. It's not him. You're not going to get this guy that's going to blow the roof off the joint and start scoring and assisting like crazy, and it's not going to happen. That is him at his best with Sassuolo, but that's not his game. Okay. And if you're looking at offensive contribution, looking all this, it's not there. Okay. That's not him. But defensively, he's a juggernaut for me defensively for Juventus, and he holds it all together. There's other changes I think that need to be made around him to get the best. Now, if we're talking about him and stretching the ball and spraying the ball, and I agree, that can be improved. And he should look to improve that game, because now, not so much in the second game, but in the first game, there's a lot more movement off the ball. And there's a lot more opportunities for him to start to splash that ball around and whatnot. And for a guy like Locatelli, and this is coming from me, I think after 2 years straight of playing in this role, there should be some type of evolution, some type of next step for him. And now it is. You've locked it down defensively. Now it's what can you do to help unlock the rest? Okay, so again, it's nothing crazy from what he was doing to Sassuolo to here, but I am going to look for that next step now. Defensively, I have no problems for you, but what can you do now to be that guy? And if we're talking about a guy that we can all see potentially be the next leader of this team, the next captain of this team, I'm going to look at you, looking at your own individual game, and ask yourself that question: what can I do now? Like, where's this next step for Locatelli? And I think he can do it. I think there's another gear there, and I think he should be looking at it and can hit it and can help a little bit more. Again, obviously there are other factors that are going to have to play into that system, other players, chemistry,
major
everything.
factor.
Yeah.
But there's another step.
Yeah.
I think another step.
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Al, but it's also, I think it's hard for him and I guess the rest of the midfielders to get so involved when we're only scoring 1 or 2 goals a game. Like, it's not like we're scoring goals by the bundle where everyone's getting involved, everyone's having a great damn time out there partying. Like, I don't, like, what do we really expect from him? What are realistic terms? Because I feel like
that's a good question.
Right? Like, some people just hate him just because, he's not out there doing incredible things. But, like, that's not a reasonable expectation. Like,
do they want him third in goals and second in assists overall in the team? Like, what? That's a good.
Like
what's the benchmark?
I will tell you right now, ultimately my answer to the question is no. Locatelli's not a problem. He's not a problem. Even if you say he can excel, like, I think he can take a next step up, like in helping us in other areas. It's still, he's not a problem. He's not a problem.
I think if you're going to say that about Locatelli, you should also say the same thing for Fagioli in his second season. Like, he's going to have to get more involved offensively. Unless I love him. Don't get me wrong, but I do think, Alan, you brought this up before, his size might be a bit of a hindrance to him defensively and offensively. Because we see when we see him. Yeah, but I see when you compare him to Miretti when they're getting in those offensive attacking areas, Miretti's a little more solid on his feet. Fagioli can get bundled off a little easier just based on his size. And like that's not his fault. Like we know
Other way
the
around.
skill. No, no
For me, it's the
way,
other way around.
man. No,
Miretti
no,
gets
no.
bullied.
I disagree.
He did last year. He did last
He
year.
did last year, but he started the season. I know it's only
This
again,
season
it's
so
only
far, when
one
I've seen him,
game.
he's a little
Fair
more. He's getting involved more with those
He's got a
50-50s and whatnot. Maybe had some panini, like Ant said, over the summer or whatnot.
Attaboy.
hit leg day twice a week instead.
But
Anyways, that's
Remember,
just my thought.
Locatelli is 25 years old. The guy's
Yep.
like 4 years away from his prime, anyways. Can we just
Mhm.
pump the goddamn brakes on the guy? He's
I say
still
that for everyone.
he's
Yeah.
between now and his prime. He's going to have two different managers. Like Max is going to be gone. They'll bring somebody else in, right? He's going to have 2 or 3 managers before he even hits his prime. So let's just
Mhm.
who may use him in a system that's going to have actually help him grow more than we're seeing now. So let's just 25 years old. Hey,
see,
Lucci, that's like
you're
there like 3 years from
agree
now.
with Lucci though.
I
I
wish.
want to see more from Fagioli in terms of that
Yes.
in the attacking phase.
Yeah.
I think he's too quick to drift out to the byline. I don't want to see him out hugging a sideline.
He doesn't need to
I
be
need to
there.
see him
Yeah.
finding those pockets of space, like Miretti does really well, and linking up that midfield to the attack. I don't want to see him out there working 1-2s with McKennie, for Christ's sake, or whatever. Like,
Ew.
I want to see him in the mid. And to be honest, I think this is a correction that helps everybody. Locatelli included. We've always said it. Changing up how we position our midfielders. And why are we so hell-bent on this Regista thing? Okay, so we started talking about the Regista role, players that can play in it, whatnot. If you want to talk about a two-man pivot, I think that opens up the doors tremendously and the opportunities tremendously for the players and makes things a hell of a lot easier if you want to pivot them up and play one attacking mid. All of a sudden, I think it makes way more sense for the players involved to play in that manner and have your attacking mid from the central location. But again, we are hell-bent on this Regista thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes up into the next thing, which we are going to get to in a second. But right now, I want to see where it stands because we put this as a poll question. Going into this game, who would you play out of the two in the Metsala role? So gun to your head, boys. Miretti or Fagioli today to start if you were in charge?
Oh, Ant, you want to go first?
Yeah, so I've always said this about Miretti. He's always in the right spot.
Mhm.
He just doesn't have that finish.
I
Fagioli's
think
more.
that'll come though.
I get it. Oh, 100% agree. Like you guys have touched on before, Fagioli's more of like the, he doesn't go as much into the attacking third.
Mhm.
We need to open up Empoli this game for what they did to us last game. And I think in that respect, Miretti can offer more going forward, getting into their 18 and mucking it up. So I would start Miretti today.
This is cool.
Even though I
watching
think
this in the
Fagioli's
live
a better
chat.
player.
So Ant's going Miretti. Yeah, so we've got Miretti, Fagioli, Miretti, Fagioli, obviously Miretti, Mickey Beans. This poll came out at 55% in favor of Fagioli.
Wow.
That's how tight this is. And it's interesting to see the thoughts and everything. And Alex P just kind of saying it and probably summarizing it in a manner that we can all probably agree is that Fagioli has the final brush stroke. So Miretti's missing that final decision and whatnot. But how many times has Fagioli final brush stroke had to come into play? Like so far, that's what I mean about him getting
Not getting
more
there.
involved, having more influence, right?
For me, it's I like the way Miretti gets forward. He gets in better positions than Fagioli can. Like when we saw them playing that similar right-handed side of the midfield, like we mentioned, Al, Fagioli's hugging the touchline with McKennie or whoever's over there, and we see Miretti kind of around the 18, getting involved, taking passes 1-2s. I think that really helps us or helps the forwards get available, get open when you have an extra body in the area. So for me, it was. And don't get me wrong, I love them both, for different reasons, but
Yeah.
I'm taking Miretti in this one.
This is also one of the reasons why I'm going to kind of lean a certain direction, okay? Fagioli's not had a proper preseason, okay? But also, if we are going to change things up, as I don't expect Cambiaso to start, and Kostic is going to be in there, Chiesa is going to probably not, well, he's going to have to figure out he's not going to be drifting to the sideline anymore. He shouldn't be anyways if Kostic is going to be out there, because Kostic is going to be glued to it. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, the midfield, I kind of want to lean towards Miretti if we're going to have a guy that's constantly going to be stuck there. Chiesa is going to be forced into the middle. I want some more link up out of that middle. Probably lean towards Miretti, but Fagioli, again, I also don't think he's in prime condition for himself and game ready. And it's another reason why this one, I'd probably just lean towards Miretti. But I think it's going to be interesting to watch the two of them throughout the season. Yeah. And
I'd like to see them play together, to be honest, one day.
Well, we did see that a few times last season where Miretti was on one side, Fagioli was on the other. It was just, again, we've seen a lot of combinations. Ant alluded to that earlier on. I don't mind seeing both of them, but I don't mind having a physical guy in there too, somebody that can.
Well, next year when Rabiot leaves and Pogba's injured, they'll have lots of playing time. Those two.
True. Yeah. Did we all all three of us agree? That's rare. Wow. Anyway,
the Miretti Fagioli thing going on is good stuff. So
it's a good problem. Let's just put it that way.
It's a good problem. It's a good problem.
Absolutely.
I don't mind those discussions, and it's cool seeing how, like I said, how close it actually is. So 55% in favor of Fagioli. Either way, whoever starts, get the job done today, boys. We need the 3 points, okay? Need the 3 points. Max's presser yesterday. Top 4 is the objective. Yeah, top 4 is the objective, but I think we can be, obviously we all think we can be, because fans always have this reaction like, don't just come out say top 4 is the objective. They want to get back to Champions League, money, Chicoria. Got to get back in those, got to get back in that competition. As far as us, even though I've said it, and I think you guys agreed that we are closer to favorites and we are just a top 4 side, nobody's coming out and picking us. Still, if you pick us to win, it's kind of like a dark horse bet. I think it's paying. I think the odds are actually very good. If you wanted to bet on Juve to win the Scudetto, it's actually stronger odds. It's not paying as high as I would expect it to, because it's only like 3.5 or 4-1, which is actually surprising. But because we should be like that dark horse thing, even if we feel like, okay, yeah, we can do it. And I truly do believe this team can do it and can get after this thing. I think it's going to be a race down to the wire this year in Serie A. But Max says top 4. He believes 86 to 90 points is what it's going to take. Again, we started looking at those points, and kind of raise your eyebrows. You don't think that's a point total we're going to be hitting, or what?
I think he's right. I think that's the number. Max had it last year. They put a lot of analysis into this. He's not just pulling that out of thin air. Like, that's on average where you got to be high 80s. You're not winning a Scudetto with a 7 as your first number, right? Right? You put a 9 there, you got a good chance. So, I think he's right.
Yep.
And I'm agreeing with the chat here. We should be in the mix top 2. That's kind of what I'm expecting. I think we should be in that mix there. It is funny how, the points calculating this early. We need 86 to 90. It's always funny to see how he kind of comes up with these things and whatnot. But it's based off last season's numbers and whatnot too. And like I said, if you look at us last season, this is one of the reasons why I think we could be maybe a little more than a dark horse, is because if you give us our points, Sul Campo, and you look at what we dropped with our own fault, okay?
Did you want me to bring it up again?
The points we dropped. Tripping on our own dicks, everybody.
Oh.
We could definitely be in there, and we should be in there, okay?
Yeah.
Should be in there.
We're our own worst enemies, man.
Now,
this season we could be, yeah.
Max said no set starters. when asked about Gatti
For the
and
love
him
of
getting
Pete.
minutes and whatnot. No set starters. Again, he's going to be mixing it up. I think he's going to be mixing up. We've seen enough combinations. I think he's going to keep changing it up. I don't think it's going to be this thing where there is set guys, and I think it'll be interesting to see if Kostic, again, unhappy with minutes and whatnot, and what he ends up doing for all these players and getting them, and even the young guys. We're talking about Caviglia and whatnot that I think can help out. It'll be interesting to see. Szczesny's out. Perin's going to get the start. We know that for sure. And we can get into lines, so we're going to talk a bit about this matchup here, okay? So Empoli, as far as Empoli goes, first off, betting odds. Empoli to win, this is actually really low, I think, but 4-1. So four times your money for Empoli to win. Feels like...
I have it almost 5-1.
Man, should be quite a bit higher. But anyways, 4-1. I guess they did steal 2 out of the last 4 from us. So, yeah, okay. Plus 400 for them. A draw just shy of 3 times your money. And then Juve winning is at minus 150. Okay, so
not bad.
Minus 150 for Juve. Guys, Empoli hasn't scored a goal yet. Okay?
They'll score one today. Calling it now.
Okay, well,
you
shut
son
up.
of a bitch.
So
it always happens against us, man. We know it. Anyway.
Hey, maybe we got a new wager. Can we reach 200 different lineups this season? Whew.
No, we don't have enough games.
Is that mathematically possible? Yeah.
38 matches. No.
38 for 38, I think, is achievable.
Yeah. So, yeah, Empoli, man, they're going to want to try and get something out of the first 3 games, like even a draw, whatnot. Daniel Maldini is going to be out with them. Capri is going to be out, picking up an injury on opening day. They're going to be playing 4-2-3-1. Baldanzi, eyes are going to be on Baldanzi, and this is a player that Juve also very much admires from everything that we're hearing, okay? But yeah, it's going to be... They can cause problems for teams offensively. Their finishing has been just brutal and a little bit unlucky too in these past 2 games. If you've seen them play and whatnot, they should have some goals to their name and whatnot. But ultimately, yeah, they're going to want to turn things around. For us, yeah, a lot to be happy about in really one half out of both those games. Second half against Bologna, first half against Udinese. Let's put it all together, have a solid 90, get the 3 points, and go into the international break. For Juve, probable lineup, like again, we're hearing Perin in goal because Szczesny's still out. Gatti, I think we'll start. You're going to get Bremer, Danilo. Weah expected to start. Miretti expected to start. Locatelli, Rabiot, Kostic, Vlahovic, and Chiesa. Okay. With that lineup, I actually don't have any problems with it whatsoever. Again, like we were talking earlier, whether it be Miretti or Fagioli, I'm actually fine either way. Kostic coming in, I don't have any problems with it as long as the players adjust to it. And the main players adjusting to it are midfielders, the Metsalas, and Chiesa. Chiesa's going to have to adjust his game. He's going to have to figure out how to work with Kostic if he's in that lineup. Gatti getting the start? He should.
Yep.
Because we got to get competition going at spots. And yeah, I thought Sandro, just if Bremer is the slightest bit off, Sandro just gets completely exposed. So I want to see Gatti in there today. And one thing about Gatti's game, I don't think gets talked about enough, is how advanced he gets in the play, even when we're going at the opposition. And he will take the space that teams allow if they're 100%. Dropping back to flood the area and just create this wall. He will get up there. He will push through. He will try and challenge them and try to ask them more questions and maybe open up space for somebody else to do something. So it's interesting to see how he's going to play and add some type of element to our game overall, not just defensively. So I'm looking forward to that. It
reminds me a lot of when, like, Chiellini or Bonucci, they take that space that the striker's giving them or the midfielder's giving them, just that 15 yards. It's really reminiscent of what they used to do, and other players don't
Chiellini
Really
used
do
to
that
do
at
it
the
all the
back line.
time. The ball would be bouncing at his kneecaps the whole way as he's running up there, but he found a way to distribute
Respect the
eventually and
space.
whatnot.
Yep.
But you got to
Yep.
do it, and that's what I like out of Gatti. So
Yeah.
we'll
I do
see
have a problem
what
with the
goes down.
lineup.
Key stats before
Let's-
we get into a prediction
No, go ahead.
challenge.
Yep.
Sorry, key stats.
Mhm.
Empoli have won 2 of their last 4, like we talked about, against Juventus. Okay, Juve have defeated Empoli away from home in Serie A 9 times so far. There's only one team that have beaten Empoli away from home more times than Juve. Does anybody want to take a stab at who that team is?
Sorry, say the question again. One team.
Juve has defeated Empoli in their home 9 times in Serie A competition so far. There's only one team that's beaten them in their home more times. Think shit.
Inter. Yeah, that's what I
There
was
you
going
go.
to say.
There we go.
And there's only 2 teams that have scored more in Empoli's home in those away games than Juventus. You want to take a stab at who those 2 teams are?
I'm assuming Inter will be one
Inter's
again.
one.
No.
Oh,
They haven't scored more. Even though they've won 10 in Empoli's home, they haven't scored more than Juventus. There's only 2 teams that have.
Napoli.
No.
Atalanta.
Is one of them some like obscure team?
Yeah, like
Tony Trim's got 1 in the chat.
Okay, Milan. Yeah.
So Milan's 1. Not Napoli, not Fiorentina, and Maticari nailing the other. It's Roma.
I would have never.
Milan and Roma have
suck.
scored more than Juve at Empoli's home there. And a loss tonight will see Empoli lose their opening 3 games in Serie A for the first time since
1912.
2005, 2006.
It's close.
All right.
It's written in the stars for them to draw tonight, isn't it?
100% Lucci.
Jesus.
I've
And
lost
hey,
all my bets already.
Before we get to the prediction challenge, another clean sheet. So if they go scoreless today, that'll be 4, I think, for them. 4 league games in a row for the first time since 2016 that Empoli hasn't found the back of the net. All right.
We're going down 1-0 in the first
With
45
these
minutes.
key
Saint.
stats.
Did you call me the Debbie Downer?
It's time for the prediction challenge. Who wants to kick us off? Everybody in the chat, you guys know the drill, all right? And while you're here, take a second, like the video. Let's go. Let's get those likes up, everybody.
I got
If you're new to
some,
the channel.
I want to
got
hear
some
Ant's
free
problem
numbers.
with the lineup first. I want to hear that.
What?
Ant's issues with the lineup. I want to hear what
You got
what his
issues with a
are.
lot. Fire away. Sorry,
Yeah,
man.
because I already put money on Chiesa to score, and with Kostic in the lineup, that's really going to hurt that bet.
Should put
But
money
I'll
on
get into all the
Vlahovic.
bets I've already made. Yeah, but I got the referee stats for you.
Nice.
Berto, you've been looking for. Okay, so let me get into these. So Giovanni Airoldi, he has a Y in his name,
come
which is a little
on,
weird.
man.
Anyways, we've seen this guy before.
Areolas over here is
That's
reffing?
right. There we go. We'll go with that. We've seen him before. He's done 39 Serie B matches. He's done 33 Serie A matches. So he refereed our 4-1 loss to Empoli. He was a referee in
Lovely.
that match. Didn't have much to do, right?
Okay.
He also was the center for our 1-0 win against Cremonese last year. He was also our referee for the 2-2 tie to Lazio last year. So in Serie B, 39 matches, he averages 5.6 yellows per game.
Oh,
He's in those 39 matches, he's handed
the
out
odds on the yellow.
14 reds with 15 PKs. That's a lot. In Serie A, though, 33 matches, he averages 4.5 yellows per game. Sorry, 5.5. So pretty average. He's averaged about 5.5 per game. 8 reds, 5 PKs. So he's not quick to trigger the PK as much in the Serie A as he is in the Serie B. So do with
hit
that
the
what you
over
will.
in the yellow cards for sure.
So if 4.5 would be the over-under for me for yellow cards.
Yes.
So,
Yes, I agree.
Tony Trim wasting no time. 3-0 Juve.
Jesus,
Chiesa,
Tony.
Rabiot, Vlahovic. 7 shots on target, okay? Oh, he's getting... Oh, YF, he's feeling good. Very good. 4-0. Vlahovic, brace, Chiesa, and Locatelli grabbing...
I love it.
I'm with Lucci on this one. I just don't see the goals.
2-1 Juve in a squeaker. Okay, let's go. Who wants to kick us off? Prediction time.
I'll go first because I got all the numbers.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go. This is a bet that I've already placed.
I like
And
it.
So it's a parlay. It's a 2-0 win with goals from Dusan and Chiesa. That's plus 3,500.
My
Jesus,
Fanta Calcio this weekend really needs these guys to score. Ooh, it's been an ugly weekend so far.
That is a parlay bet I've already played. That's why the Kostic one pisses me off. Now, here's another bet you can place out there, Lucci, but you can't parlay these, but I like these.
Which?
Fouls in each half.
I saw this. I did see this.
Did you see that one? Is this
Yeah.
new? It's got to be new.
I think it's new, yeah.
So I'm going to go Rabiot with a foul in both halves, plays plus 270.
Or Luca in both halves would probably be almost a
Luca in
given.
both halves, it was pretty low. But Gatti foul in both halves, plus 460.
I like that one.
That sounds like
if
easy
he
money.
plays.
So I'm going to go Gatti if he plays. Foul in each half, plus 460. If he doesn't, I'm going to switch to Rabiot. I got to wait for the lineup on that one. And do I need anything else?
I like it.
I will go with a cost assist at plus 240.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I'm going to take a Dusan goal, though. I do like the Dusan goal.
Lucci, fire away.
Dusan anytime is plus 110 to score. So
That's
it's not
shit.
Lucci, fire away.
Yeah, so you know what? I think this is going to be a squeaker. I'm losing confidence as we continue to talk about this. So I'm going to say a 2-1.
Passive wind, or you talk about the score. Let's go.
Talking about the score. I'm taking a 2-1 slim victory.
Plus 700 for 2-1.
Ooh. I like I'm going to say over 3.5 yellow cards, so at least 4. And I will take a Dusan goal as well. I think Dusan's really starting to listen to those haters. He's gonna pump one.
Pump one. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gonna be a banger too.
I like the 2-1 though goal score line. I might put a separate bet on that. Plus 700.
I'm going 3-1 Juve. Empoli
plus 1,200 at 3-1.
Empoli should have scored a goal by now based on what they're generating and whatnot. I think we probably concede one.
Yeah.
Overall, though, like I said, I see Juve getting the job done. 3-1. I am gonna take. Vlahovic definitely being one of the goal scorers. I'm also gonna say that somebody in this game gets sent off, so I'm gonna call a red card.
Ooh, interesting.
8 reds in 33 matches. What's that? 40. I don't know what percentage that is. It's a quarter.
You're an engineer. Figure it out, man.
That's where I'm going.
25%?
That's where I'm going. 3-1, and Edgar's in
20%.
line with me. Let's go. Let's see this one out. Let's get back tomorrow for a Monday, Victory Monday show. Okay, and then celebrate the correct predictions there, Edgar. Now, storm the barn. Time to get your questions in. Okay, we're going to talk just kind of everything too.
24%.
Something I didn't get into was on Friday the VAR came out and we saw the audio. We were getting the audio of what was going on in the Bologna match, and I still stand behind what I said because it's a joke. So if you watch that and you were seeing what was going on, essentially this play that they were highlighting again with the potential PK for Bologna there and whatnot, literally stated in there that they could not, you can't get the right angle to definitively say that Gillen Jr. literally fouled that, or did the player try to sell it because he couldn't reach that angle? He couldn't get an angle. So while VAR is supposed to correct everything and whatnot and get rid of controversy, there is still an element of human error that is involved or whatnot, but he literally couldn't get a definitive angle to call something different than what was happening on the pitch and what the call on the pitch was. This is called the same way throughout. And one of the things last season that we started introducing here was L'Arbitro Nick coming in and giving us detailed explanations based on what he's getting from IFAB. And he's a licensed referee in the States and whatnot. And he's literally said on our show, we said that is supportable. not calling, whatnot. And he even got into the details on how VAR would have to be used to call it back. What I don't like and what I still stand by is Rocky in this case still not shutting down the narratives and not allowing it to just die down and say, listen, there is human error that can still come in. And in this fact, can you actually say it is an error if he simply doesn't have the angle to definitively say, yeah, that needs to be called? Is
that what was on the tapes?
We didn't have an angle.
Is that what he said?
We didn't have an angle on a fucking Candreva standing, keeping all our players on side. We didn't even have that camera view. And now we're shitting on this guy because he doesn't have an angle that he can say 1,000% yes, Illing Jr. definitely needs to be called on a foul on that. It's just, it is what it is.
He had a good view of it too, right? Like I don't think he had an obstructed view of the play that was happening in real time. So I think referee Nick likes to say, the ref should just go with his first instinct. And normally very often their first instinct is correct.
Unless it's clear and obvious, right?
Unless it's a clear and obvious error.
If you can't see the video of their actual contact, it's not clear and obvious. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just turned into a mess. Now I didn't read the whole thing, but was there something in there where he said he missed the Chiesa one, or was that just the journalist adding that to the?
No, they talked about it and they just blew through it. Like they blew through the Chiesa one like immediately.
Okay.
I don't know. There was definitely contact on that.
And there was handball there. They also acknowledge the hand there and are just like, oh yeah, no, I can't remember how they rule whatnot, but they blew through that one really quick. Is what it is. But I just don't like that.
If Illing got him, that's a penalty shot. If Illing gets a piece
the narrative again. That ref was brutal, and I still stand behind everything I said. It was more detrimental to Juventus than it was Bologna. Even if you give Bologna that call in that game, if he reffed that thing properly, it wouldn't have even mattered if he reffed that game properly because he was so bad for Juve. So it is what it is. Tony Trim's going to be at the clubhouse today with the official fan club in Toronto. Say what's up to everybody there from me, man. Enjoy, have fun, and hopefully we get to celebrate a victory. Is there anything you guys want to bring up before we get to some Storm the Barn questions? And guys, fire away. Let's go.
I have a quick one that I want to get his thread right. I know his name is Vito, but it's at BVL_21. I think this thread was shared in our AJC Army chat by Anish.
Yes.
The financial
thread. Yeah.
So it was the one I saw was in French. Animesh. So the one I saw was in French. I had to translate it because Lucci, how's our French, buddy?
My French is fantastic. Better than Luca's.
Anyways, I would highly recommend any of you people out there who think Giuntoli's not doing a good job to read that thread. Maybe we can reshare it from our main account. But it is a very good thread on year over year what we've done with wages and salary savings and overall annual costs. Everything's going down. Compared to 2021, we are almost half the cost. So from 230 down to 124, we're on a good road, everybody. Let's just follow the process.
Everybody's
a little ugly for a bit, but so wait, what's the question?
2 years before we actually see Giuntoli influence really kicking off, and right now it's about getting the numbers right. We are on a good path. Anthony's 1,000% right there, and then we'll actually see Giuntoli cook once he's got everything financially where we need to be. Then we'll see it really come into
extend Vlahovic, extend Chiesa, extend Illing Jr., start spreading out those.
And now, that's another thing too. The contract extensions to spread out the salary absolutely makes sense. Now, another thing, it's just mind blowing to me, and makes sense why we're trying to do this with Rugani. But I had no idea Rugani was actually at 6.4 for salary.
3.
So 3 is his net. 6.4 is his gross.
Jesus.
So
sign him
players
to a 45-year
that Rugani makes more than Locatelli,
Yep.
Locatelli, Danilo, Obviously, younger guys he makes more than, but those are the notable guys that he makes more than.
And he doesn't even
That
play.
based on contribution, that is crazy. So not only does Rugani have a hot wife, but he's got like the best agent in the game, okay? Because he's making 6.4 gross
He's
and
living
he's
the
like
dream,
fifth
man.
on the depth chart. Like unbelievable.
No wonder they robbed his house. Yeah, you
This
got to
guy,
spread that out.
Rugani
Yeah, make it like
is a
16-year
winner
contract.
in life, okay? My
He
God,
is doing very
6.4 gross.
Jesus.
Yeah, so we gotta extend the contract and drop that salary down. Like this guy's like fifth on the depth chart, whatnot. Happy to do so. And again, does that not shine a light on what we were talking
mess.
about for a while now? Mismanagement and contracts and players and what we're doing. It's we gotta make sense. We gotta make sense of this. So that's gotta get cleaned up. That was another one shared by Animesh in our group chat there, but. Yeah, it's pretty crazy there to see that based on his contributions. Again, thank you, Animesh, in the AJC Army chat. Drop that always here as well. And he does make a point about Danilo still on growth decree. I want to remind everybody that is a member on YouTube. Thank you, number one, for the support. That's one way. The other is the merch store, and everybody's loving the tributes to Buffon in there out now. Okay, so thanks for the support in that manner. We got Super Chat, but the memberships, if you are a member, any tier, we want you in the AJC Army chat. So simply reach out and we'll plug you in, all right? So, just reach out to us on any of the platforms. We'll get you hooked up if you are a member on YouTube. And if you want to become a member, you have to do it from a desktop computer or laptop. Whatnot won't let you do it from your mobile device, all right? Now, Storm the Barn.
I got a
Is there
quick
an
question.
appearance extension for Sandro? Yes, 12 games.
What? Are you serious?
No, of course I'm not
Thank
serious.
God.
I would have fucking. But the fact that you thought about it, you can see it.
It was a possibility. Yeah. Hold on.
Oh
So
my God!
I
Can
know
you
we all
imagine
hate
12
Sandro.
games?
I know we're all on the Sandro should not be starting, issue on whatever. But does anyone have any small concerns with Danilo playing on the left with Kostic in front of him?
I don't
Like,
I don't have this big thing or big issue with Danilo playing as a left center back. Is it as good as him on the right side? No, but is it a problem? I don't think so either.
I don't know. Like
We're playing a team that hasn't scored yet. Like, it shouldn't be a problem.
but
I'm okay.
watch, it'll happen today, and they're gonna score. I don't know. I'm just and I hope they play well today. I don't know. I don't know how that combo is gonna go. Kostic is. I don't know. Kostic is.
Aldo's the different. He says, I have concerns about Danilo playing on the left, period. He's awful on the left. I think he's more awful when he's outside, full outside, like left back, whatnot. As a left center back, and especially through the preseason games this year, it looked fine. Looked clean. So, I don't know. And ultimately, I would agree with this statement that he is less of a danger than Sandro.
Fair point.
And I will stand behind that. Yeah. I know some of you don't see this as an issue, but all the big clubs in Europe, except for Merda, play with a back four. Should we move to a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1? I just think our 3-5-2 is so defensive minded.
Well, here's a question for you, Dom. Do we have the players
That's
to
the only
play
problem.
in a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1? I think we have the 2-3-1 covered, but we don't have the
we
four
have
covered.
we have a left back now. The problem is right back is still a bit of a concern for me. I don't know.
I have concerns with Cambiaso defensively as an out and out left back.
Really, I have more concerns with Way as a right back than Cambiaso.
Well, he wouldn't
as
be
a
the
left
right back. It would be Danilo.
Then even more so, you can't do that.
Danilo would be your right back, and we'd have to do it with Bremer Gatti. We go through this a lot, and I think for the personnel, 3-5-2 is fine. As far as it being defensive, it doesn't have to be defensive minded, and that's more like an approach thing and how we play and how we try to manage games. But again, for me, it comes down to the player roles. But this is an argument that continues to come up, is do we have too many guys out of position in the 3-5-2?
You can make the argument that Locatelli's out of position.
True.
Chiesa? You
Chiesa's
think
out of
Chiesa's
position.
out of position? Because this is where I start to think like, no, I think we're starting to over defend players, I think, if we're getting into that, because he's listed as a second striker, but how the hell has he been playing these games? He's been drifting off to the wing as if he is a winger and playing from that left, inverting into the center of the pitch. So I would have to argue against the fact that he's out of position. He's written down on a team sheet out of position, but he's not playing out of position.
That's a fair point.
Right? I don't know. I look at it and I don't think we're terribly out of position in this 3-5-2. I don't really see Locatelli. Like, what's closer to a two-man pivot, Mezzala or Regista? What's closer to?
Well, hang on.
In your opinion?
It's that question.
What's
No,
that?
what?
Go ahead, Lucci. He's asking.
I was waiting for you to go because I don't know.
What's closer to a natural two-man pivot, Regista or Mezzala?
It would be Mezzala, no?
I would think Regista.
I would think the other way around. Yeah, Regista's.
I would think
Really?
Regista's
So
closer.
two Registas then.
What are you talking about? No, I'm saying who's out of position in a 3-5-2. So if you're going to make a call that Luca's out of position, I think he's closer to his natural position playing that way than Mezzala.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Chiesa, again, I don't think he's that out of position. I think he's listed out of position, but the way he plays isn't necessarily out of position.
But this question...
This 4-2-3-1 and this 4-3-3 is always going to come back at us. I don't really know. Like, the press, can we not press? Like, this is the main thing, and this is a valid argument. The 4-3-3 makes it easier for us to press. And our 3-5-2 makes it a little more challenging because guys have quite a bit of freedom in terms of where they move to. So, like, we like when Cambiasso mixes it up with Chiesa on the left, right? Because he comes in centrally and Chiesa can operate on the outside. We've talked about that a lot where Kostic sticks to the left. It forces Chiesa with nowhere really to go and whatnot. Yeah. But when you do that and you have to play in that manner, when you lose the ball, if and when you lose the ball, it makes things a little awkward for trying to put a consistent press on the other team because you're not even necessarily in proper position. So one of the main arguments I've seen is we need to get to a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 to maintain a proper press. And the 3-5-2 does have a bit of an uneven press for us. However, the teams that do play it, and you know, it's tough to pinpoint, but I can only pinpoint it to how many roles have quite a bit of freedom. And that's the only thing I can really pinpoint it to. They don't have a problem pressing. Like if you watch Interplay, whatnot, they don't have an issue pressing because they play 3-5-2.
True.
I think we're putting too much on these formations, to be honest. Comes down to the roles, comes down to what everybody's doing, but they got to make sense of it. But I'm not seeing this big issue and need to switch to a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, and I ultimately don't think we have the players at the back. Do you guys agree?
We don't have the players. We all know that. We don't have the players.
Yeah.
Our system that we're moving into.
Is it just that back line? Or is it beyond? In the middle, up front, Illing Jr., I'd play as a winger on the right side if I had to. Weah can play as a right winger in a 4-3-3.
Yeah. The problem is fullback, clearly. It's everything else would fit a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1. It's just the fullbacks we don't have.
I just don't know about that back line.
Yes.
And Bremer and Gatti as a pairing, would you guys feel comfortable?
Yes.
You would feel comfortable with Bremer and Gatti making the two-man pairing, really?
Yes.
I think
they would need a lot. You need a lot of them to. You need to run it a lot for those two. You need two center backs to have one mind. Yeah. They have to be completely linked, right? So that would take a lot of time to develop, but it can be done. I think they could do it.
Do we want to touch on Alex P's comment of playing Illing as a fullback?
No. He
Alex,
causes.
what are you
He
on about?
Stop it, Lucci. He causes way too many problems on the other end.
He's way too good offensively. You'd be
Mm-hmm.
wasting a talent there playing him as a
Yes.
fullback. Doesn't make sense to me.
It's like the Alphonso Davies thing, though,
That's what
because
people
like he
keep
was a
pointing to.
forward and he's got a
He was a
ton
forward
of
in
pace.
MLS. Let's just pump the
Yeah,
brakes.
that's
He was
a very different.
with the
very
Vancouver
different.
Whitecaps.
What do you mean? What's the difference? He's a forward and he got moved to fullback at Bayern before playing that position. How is that different?
What?
Well, how's it different? I'm asking you guys. You say it's way different because he played. No, you have a forward that went to a team like Bayern that got pushed back to a fullback.
Because he's not good enough to play forward for Bayern.
That's what I was going to say.
But how does that say automatically Illing can't do it though?
No one's saying he can't do it, but why would you want to do it?
Why would you want to?
Yeah.
To get him in because you might not play him otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. 4-3-3 for me, if you're going to go, would you not play Weah on the right side though if he's right side dominant player?
You mean as a winger or as a fullback?
You would just give it to Illing over it because he's not going to take Chiesa out of the lineup. This is the point. This is the point of what we're getting to. Illing's not going to take Chiesa off on the left side if you go to a 4-3-3.
Well, Chiesa could play on the right side as well. We've seen him play there too.
But he's not as strong. He's best on the left side. I think we've all kind of got to that point now.
Okay, if we were stuck in a 4-3-3, like that's the players we had.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not the system we play.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I think
this question is
we're
going
also
to a 4-man and getting
but
comfortable.
we're also
Weah at right back in a 4-man, I wouldn't do that. I would have him as a winger before I had him as a fullback.
But he's played fullback before he joined with Lille. He played fullback.
I realize that. But I'm watching him play right wing back for us, and I wouldn't play him as an all-out right back.
And then that's the same answer we have for Illing Jr. I've seen him play winger, and I wouldn't want to play him as a fullback.
He just got burned. He almost gave away a PK last week, so we definitely don't want him playing defensively.
Bingo.
Sorry, Al. We're gonna.
I don't know, man.
This one.
I'm just saying you can't rule it out. I don't think it's like done and dusted. Cambiasso is very similar to Illing Jr.
I think he's better defensively.
I disagree strongly. Cambiasso is not that great defensively, man. Not that great defensively. I've seen it. Seen it last year. He's getting a ton of praise. He's not that good defensively.
We haven't seen
He's got a lot of work to do defensively. And I see a lot of similarities in the offensive phase, which is what everybody's clinging to and loves about Cambiasso. It's very, very similar to Illing Jr. offensively, except Illing's got way more pace.
We don't even play four at the back, so who knows?
I'm just saying, I don't know how we could rule something out completely. Other teams are trying things with guys with certain characteristics. It seems to be working.
This is something you'd have to implement in the preseason.
Yeah,
this isn't something you do in like game week 16. Let's try four.
And this is where I had the problem because he was trying Illing Jr. as a Metsala, and that for me is a huge no. Like huge no. Even as the attacking
Metsala, you wouldn't want to see that because then he can drift wide.
I'd rather see him there than a fullback.
No,
I agree with Ant.
No, Illing Jr. in the middle of the park, absolutely not, because he is way too 1v1, man, and no, just not having it. He needs. It's too tight. It's too tight of a game when you get centrally. He needs a space outside. Like, yeah, I don't know. Okay. Definitely would try him there before Metsala, but that's where he was being played, so it is what it is. Good little debate there anyways, but hey, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. What do you make of Houston's terrible performance with next gen? Is that a sign that he isn't ready yet? Will it delay his integration into the first team? I don't really take a whole bunch out of it. I mean,
you never had a bad day?
Oh, I've had plenty.
He had a bad day.
He's 18 years old. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs from here to there. Look, he played the preseason with us and had so much composure and whatnot. Like, I'm ultimately not worried. The kid's 18. Like, yeah, this is going to happen. It's
has
fine.
Has he played at all this season? Was this his first competitive match of the 23-24 season?
As far as I know, he did not play
exactly. So it's probably a little rusty. Let's take it easy a bit. Just like everyone's saying Fagioli was rusty, didn't have a preseason, blah, blah, blah. Let's take it easy on the 18-year-old.
Yeah,
18 years old.
I don't
I
really
had
take
t-shirts
too
at
much
18.
into that. It sucks. Of course, we would have liked to see him have a strong showing, whatnot, but I don't take a whole lot out of it, to be honest.
Bad day. Bad day at the office.
Bad day at the office. Tony Trim saying, "Mamma mia, it's one game with the next gen." But I think, for anybody that's, let's put it differently. Let's ask a different question, maybe, okay? Because we don't put too much to that performance, but there's some that think that he should be higher up on the depth in terms of a replacement, like when we're calling for subs and stuff like that. And does it maybe make you think twice on how much faith you had? How much faith do you have in him in general? Because some say, no, I would play Houston before Sandro. And that's maybe where I say, even how I feel about Sandro, I maybe wouldn't do that. But there was a lot of fans that would have done that. Does this game, who had those expectations? Who would have played Houston before Sandro?
No, not yet.
Would you play Houston before Rugani?
No.
Probably not.
But Rugani, when he comes in, plays central.
Yes.
And so you're definitely not going to play Houston central. If he plays, it's going to be on the left side.
Correct.
So it really only comes down to playing him above Sandro or Danilo or whatnot, like if you're going to have that. But honestly, the faith is not there for me. Like, I'm thinking Houston sticks around. He gets 10 minutes a game here, 15 minutes here, like if the game calls for it. That's all I'm expecting out of this season. And that's why I quickly brush this performance off and don't take a whole bunch out of it, because I don't have crazy minute expectations for Houston, right? So, and I think we're all on the same page with that.
Yep.
Personally, what realistic signing do you think would have elevated the team significantly? This is a great question.
That is a good question.
So if we take the links that we had, and we had, obviously, we had the Lukaku rumors. We had Berardi. We had Samardzic. We had Kefren Turam. We had Parisi. We had Home. Should we start with position? What position do you think would have?
Yeah, because some of them would have been dependent on a player going out on loan, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sending Miretti on loan to replace with, Omer kept saying Thuram's name. So, I think it's based on position.
See,
because some you'd have to make moves.
For me, it's not even the players we were linked with. I'm surprised we didn't target a left center back. So we didn't have to see Sandro every damn week. That's where I would have gone. But if we're only going based off of players we were linked with, it'd probably be Home for me, or someone as the right wing back, because I don't think McKennie can do it even as a backup. I just don't think that's his. Well, I don't know.
I'm gonna say it's between two names for me. It's either between Pau Torres,
yes,
or Samardzic. Because these defensive mids that we were linked to in there, like, I don't think ultimately change things dramatically for us. But if you could have let a young guy go out on a loan, like a Miretti, whatnot, and brought in a guy like Samardzic, who would help, I see, like, Pogba insurance should have been a big thing for us, I think, in the Mercado. And I think Samardzic, obviously not to that level, to that extreme, to that elite capability. However, very, very offensive-minded midfielder that can do that can cause some damage. But Pau Torres, I think, would have been a big shift for us at the back. I'd probably put it between those two guys. The Berardi thing, I don't think would have had a big thing, because I'm not buying into this 3-4-3. I will die on this hill that Juve needs three midfielders in there at all times. I'll die on that hill. I don't care if I'm by myself.
I agree.
But, yeah. And positionally, do you think that left-footed center back like Pau Torres probably makes a bigger impact?
Yeah.
Or
I thought, based on everything we were talking about in the preseason, it was center back, full back.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing to address this? So, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, fullback would have been probably good. But I just wasn't sold on those guys. Like Lucci brought up home and whatnot, and like I don't really know,
Yeah.
man.
Like what other options did we have there? That's the only thing.
Yeah,
Castagne? No thanks.
Castagne. We had a ton of links
Chestnuts.
with Parisi on the opposite side there for a
Parisi
while,
would have
whatever.
been
But
nice. Yeah.
Cambiaso is proven to be proven he can ball and whatnot. So I think we go with
Right.
that. But that's a good question. That's a good question. Some people are throwing out Kessie's name, Berardi's name, and whatnot.
No.
Samardzic came out a few times. Pau Torres.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Pogba insurance probably be the bigger one. Is this game make or break for Max? No.
Unfortunately
Not
not.
even, not even close.
No.
If it was if we lost the last two, then yes.
Mm-hmm.
But no.
You know what's going to be make or break for Max, and it won't happen, is if this team slides into like mid-table.
Yes.
That's break time, but it won't happen. Max won't allow that to happen, and I can't see it.
Max is
Second
unbreakable.
and Copa, does that earn Max an extension? Well, he's got one more year regardless. An extension, but
extension.
beyond
No
that,
way.
I
No.
don't think so.
I don't think that happens regardless, to be honest. Regardless of how
You
well
think
they
he
do.
gets extended?
No, I don't think
No.
he gets extended regardless of how well they do this next season. I just don't see him staying.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
I don't.
That's
I
interesting.
especially with Guntoli there now, and other guys involved. I just don't see him being the favorite after his contract eventually runs out or he gets fired next year, whatever it may be. I don't see him extending longer than that.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss?
I think you got it.
Dells was saying I missed Storm Bar, but I just got it right there. That's the only one I see. So, yeah, not make or break for Max. Second in Copa, does that earn Max an extension? I don't think. Yeah, I think this extension is going to be very, very difficult. It would have to be a big, big change. So hopefully that comes this year, though. Hey, everybody. Empoli today. You guys know where to come for the live match reactions. I got a watch along coming up. All right. We got the predictions in. Anthony's going 2-0. Dusan, Chiesa, goal scorers. Lucci's going 2-1. Vlahovic being a goal scorer. I've got 3-1. Vlahovic scoring a goal. And somebody seeing red. Okay, so there you go. Let's see what ends up happening. I'm jacked up for this one. Going into international break, we're going to probably have a midweek call-in show. Okay, so let's see what happens. Alex B saying F1 is going to shit. Hopefully not an omen for today. No, I don't think so. I think we're going to have a great show, and I think we're going to have a strong performance today. Take it to Empoli. Take advantage of a team that's come out of the gate struggling. I just want to see a solid 90 minutes. All right, James, thanks for joining. Everybody, drop a like on your way out. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. All right, and I'll see you probably about 20 to 30 minutes before kickoff as we get ready for Empoli. All right, as always, no matter what, fino alla fine, forza Juve. Ciao tutti, everybody. Take care. We'll see you real soon. Tony, don't forget to say what's up to everybody in TO, okay, in the 6 there for the official fan club. All right, we'll see you all in a couple hours. Take care.
Yeah.